I'm Elaine Sands. I'm on the campus of St. Catherine's College at the Hunley Library. We have had a break through the summer. We're back for our 2014-15 school year. So it's beginning a new era for St. Catherine's. One reason is because we have with us today the new Vice President of Academic Affairs, and her name is Dr. Cindy Nattinger. And welcome. Welcome to Springfield, St. Catherine's, and welcome home.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you. What brought you, let's see, okay, let's talk about your background first. And I always do this, and I tell the audience this, and I hope they don't get bored with me, but I think everybody wants to know from ground zero how you got here, what your background is, and what your plans are.
Okay. Well,
so, you're a native of?
I'm a native of Kentucky. I'm a Kentucky girl through and through. I was born and raised here. I went to college at Western Kentucky University. I'm a teacher by trade, as I like to say. I was trained as an elementary school teacher, and I started my career as an elementary school teacher. I started that in Memphis, Tennessee, but then I've had that calling to come back home to Kentucky, and I came home and married my husband here 24 years ago. We've raised our 3 sons here in the Louisville area. It's been a wonderful place to be. I spent 13 years teaching at Bellarmine University. After I left the classroom, I went into teacher education. So I finished my master's and my doctoral degrees at the University of Louisville. And we made Louisville our home, and it's been a wonderful place all these years for us. I worked at the University of Louisville for about 7 years, and then moved to Bellarmine after that. Spent about 13 and a half years at Bellarmine University in teacher education. I was the department chair of the education unit there, then dean of the School of Education, and then assistant vice president for academic affairs. And I did that until last year, and I had a wonderful opportunity to take a position as vice president for academic affairs, the same role I have here at St. Catherine.
That was your first year as a vice president?
Correct. Last year in Raleigh, North Carolina, at a wonderful little school called William Peace University. It has about 840 students. And I took that position last year as my first vice presidency, and was in the midst of a lot of change and a lot of wonderful things happening at that institution. We were in the middle of tremendous growth. It was a women's college that had just gone co-ed, so it was very exciting times for us. And then this opportunity came up at St. Catherine. I saw the ad. I knew a lot about St. Catherine. I've been watching the growth here through the years, and I just felt called to respond.
That's interesting that you were at a college that was an all-women's, which this used to be.
Absolutely.
And then we went co-ed.
Right.
Huh. Is that a secular college?
It is Presbyterian-based.
Okay.
Based.
Okay.
It's a faith-based institution, and its roots are in the Presbyterian Church.
Okay. Okay. So now you came, how did you, well, okay, I guess were the applications open for this job because, number one, Dr. Don Giles decided to go back to the classroom.
That's right. He's the former Vice President for Academic Affairs here, and Dr. Giles served, I think, for about 4 years in this role, and has missed the classroom and wanted to go back to teaching full-time, and so he has done that, and I'm glad he's on our faculty. He's a wonderful faculty member.
He's a wonderful man.
And so this was a national search, and I saw the advertisement for that, and I think I was one of about 50 applicants to apply, and there was a search committee, and I came and met with the search committee back in May, right after Derby, and met with the president at that time, and I feel very fortunate to have been offered the job, and I started in mid-June.
So you're like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz.
A little bit like that. No place like home, absolutely. We had our commencement, funny story, at William Peace this past spring on the first Saturday in May, and when they told me our commencement was the first Saturday in May, my heart sunk. I didn't know anyone did anything on the first Saturday in May other than celebrate Derby, so I knew at that point I would need to get myself home.
Oh, goodness. You came on board in June.
I did.
Worked with Dr. Giles for a while. And for our viewing audience, I think I really want to talk at length about what your role is as Vice President of Academic Affairs, and also the different vice presidents that I think sometimes it's confusing for people to understand why there are so many different vice presidents in a college.
Sure. Well, I'll be happy to help try to demystify that a little bit. A college is a complex place. We have vice presidents who are in charge of various units, one who's in charge of typically administration and finance. We have a vice president who is in charge of enrollment and managing, recruiting and getting new students and helping to retain those students. We have a vice president who is in charge of academics, and that would be my role, of course. With my position specifically, I'm also sometimes referred to as the Chief Academic Officer. And that means anything that relates to academics, I oversee. And so that is, I oversee all faculty on campus. I oversee all curriculum and the programs that we offer. That would include new program development as well. I oversee anything that relates to students in the classroom. This beautiful library, the library staff would fall under my purview, the registrar's office when students are getting registered for classes. So the academic matters of the institution, I oversee all aspects of that.
The school's been open right now for, students have been back, how long? Just 2
We've
weeks?
been back 2 weeks,
2
yes.
weeks, 2 weeks. I guess I'm sure you're very, very visible on campus. I can as much as you can.
I'm all over the place, yeah. I think, yes. I'm checking on classrooms, making sure our faculty have what they need, and I do spend a lot of time in meetings, I can say.
What changes have you been able to implement since you started? And not changes, what have you innovated, begun since you've been here?
Well, one of the things that I know we needed to do when I first arrived was to look at policies and procedures, and I'm doing that. One of the strengths that I bring, I think, to St. Catharine is experience with accreditation. And we are undergoing various accreditations in our professional programs as well as our college right now. So our health sciences have always been involved in that with nursing and radiation therapy, those kinds of things. Our education department right now is getting ready to prepare their what we call the institutional report. It's a self-study. They've been undergoing a self-study for the past year, and they're preparing to send that report to Frankfurt, to the Education Professional Standards Board, in 2 weeks. And that the review committee in Frankfurt, that is comprised of peers at other colleges and universities around the state, will review that, and they will respond, and then they will come for a site visit next fall. And I have served on those site visits for years in my past experiences.
Who makes up that committee, the education?
They have not selected the committee yet, but the Education Professional Standards Board itself is an appointed committee by the governor. And so people are appointed to sit on the committee, and it's an agency arm of the Department of Education. It's kind of how I like to describe that. They're separate from the DOE.
But they won't do that here at the college. You have your own.
We have our own unit. So what will happen is the Education Professional Standards Board will appoint various review a site team to come and review with us. And it'll be a team of about 4 or 5 people. And again, when I was a faculty member at Bellarmine in the School of Education, I served as a site team reviewer. And we do peer review, and that's how that works for accreditation.
So I assume it's teachers, some of the classroom teachers?
Mostly other education faculty, professors.
Okay.
Other professors at other institutions.
Okay. Well, what's your impression so far? I mean, how are things going? Because this is a big change, and there's been a lot of things going on at St. Catharine's the last couple of years.
My impression so far is this is a very busy place. It's an exciting place to be because we are definitely on the move. I think when people drive by, down Bardstown Road, they can, or the bypass, as we say here, I know, they can see the physical changes as new buildings these past 10, 15 years have come up. And that's definitely exciting. It's a beautiful campus. If you haven't got off the bypass and come to see us, you certainly should do that, because the campus itself, once you step foot on it, is just charming in every way. But once you're here, the work itself is very, very busy. So that's a good thing for me. I like to stay busy. I'm a very active person. I'm in constant motion. And so this environment is a wonderful place and a wonderful fit for me, I have found.
Well, is one of your positions to hire or to change class situations as far as consolidating classes, also hiring of teachers or so forth?
All of that certainly is part of my regular responsibilities as Vice President for Academics. One of the first things I did was to just take a brief look at the courses that we offer, see where we might be a little more efficient. And I found some areas where we could be a little more efficient in our offerings, and so we did cut a few courses in the beginning. But I'm also looking to see where we can expand and look at new program development. relevant, and I have some ideas for some of our departments to look at where we might be a little more relevant and responsive to what our students of the 21st century would like in their college experience.
Well, and every day on the radio, these colleges are adding different programs, very innovative. I mean, and that's what it's going to take to, for these students to excel and also find the niche of where they belong.
Absolutely, and to be competitive.
Yes.
And to be competitive. And I feel like, we're doing that already. I mean, that's one of the things that drew me here to St. Catharine. When I came, when I discovered that, well, obviously we have a state-of-the-art health science facility and wonderful health science programs. We have the state's only radiation therapy. It's one of the only few programs in the country like it is here. We've got some software that our faculty demoed for me last week that's incredible. You put on your 3D glasses and they teach the students how to run the equipment as if you were there in the actual hospitals. Until we had this technology in our labs here, students didn't have an opportunity until they actually got to the facility, to the radiation facility to actually run it. But it's all virtual. It's amazing technology. So it's very cutting edge. And again, it's the only place, St. Catharine is the only place in the state of Kentucky where one can get a bachelor's degree in radiation therapy. We're the only program. And additionally, you probably know, and I know we've had some PR in the past about our berry farming program, based on Wendell Berry's work. And we're very excited about that. This year we've added a new faculty member in that program, Dr. Sean Lucas. He's a soil scientist. And we're so excited about that. And he's working with his class in the next few weeks to put in some raised beds for his organic crop production class. So it's just exciting times here.
That would be interesting to have him on. Are there any new students in the Berry program this year?
We do have new students. Several new students have come to our campus, and I think our enrollment in that program is about 18 right now.
Really?
So exciting, yes.
Good. That's a very exciting program.
It is. It's wonderful.
Very exciting.
Wonderful. And again, one of a kind.
Yes,
one of
and
a kind.
It brought St. Catherine's to the forefront.
Absolutely.
So many places, so many colleges all over the country were looking for that program.
I'm well aware.
Well, we were in, when they had the Wendell Berry conference, we were in Louisville, and we were at a reception, and there was a man there from Chicago with his wife, and he said, Kentucky's beautiful. We're at this lovely place honoring Wendell Berry. And he said, I have one question. He said, why St. Catherine's? And I said, well, location. A lot of reasons. And I said, we're small. And he wanted to keep it at home. He didn't want to take it out of the state. But a lot of places wanted that program.
Well, if he took one step on this campus, he probably wouldn't have to ask that question.
Well, and I think that's exactly
place.
how he made the decision. So, I know you can't forecast the future. What do you see coming for St. Catherine's?
Well, I see changes for St. Catharine. I think that will be very positive. I'm looking at talking with faculty about some innovative programming, so I'm excited about that. We're looking at some restructuring in our graduate programs and looking at making sure that those programs, we're doing a self-study right now for our SACS review on those programs and making sure that they're responsive and listening to our community and making sure that the students that we serve are getting what they want here at St. Catharine. So I'm definitely looking at program growth, but we're also looking at if we need to do some changes and some edits in the current programs that we have, we'll certainly do that as we move forward.
The health science program has been a huge boost for the school. I mean, it was so innovative, and it has been. But right now, do you know a number of how many students we have here at the college for? I don't want to say just on campus, because I know we have a lot of day students.
We do.
The dorms are full.
They're beyond capacity. We have a few students who are on in our local hotels. So it's a good problem to have, but we are bursting at the seams with our residence halls. It seems that as soon as we build one, we fill it up, and it's time to go again. So it's a very good problem to have in that regard. Our current, we have partnerships with some of our local high schools where we do dual credit and early college. So those numbers we always we have a lot of students enrolled in St. Catharine that we don't put into our typical day numbers, but we have So looking at only the day numbers, we have approximately right now 560, something like that.
Oh, okay, good. That's up from last year.
It is. It is up from last year, and our graduate numbers are up from last year. I didn't put the graduate numbers in there, so we would be getting closer to probably 600 at that number.
Well, and with the competition, the cost of colleges, that's quite that's speaks a lot.
That's right.
That we're doing that
That's
it's able
right.
to happen here. And I always say we. I just do this show. I'll never be a teacher. I've not been a student here, but
Well, if you're part of our community, you can say we.
Is there anything else you would like to talk about? I mean, I feel like you have so much to offer. I've heard so much about you just since you've been on campus.
Well, I'm so happy to be here and to be a part of this, wonderful community. I think one of the things that makes us so special is that we are small, and this tight-knit community is one that you can sense the caring and the genuineness as soon as you step on campus. So we are hoping to finalize the date and some plans for some open houses in the fall and the spring, and we certainly invite our local high school students to come. If you've not stepped foot on here and you haven't seen us in a while, that you need to check us out because we've got a lot to offer.
Well,
And
even this would extend to parents or relatives that would love for their child to think about going to college.
We would love to have
Because we
them.
probably have some people out there that think I can't do that, and it's just being stressed over and over again by people from all over the world. And education is vital.
That's right, and we know with some of our early college opportunities, some of the students are getting a year under their belt, 2 years for some of them, before they step foot on here, and that's reducing the cost for the people in our Tri-County area, certainly, and beyond. I think we know certainly about our Tri-County area and reach out to those a lot, but there's also Bullock County is not far, and those students can certainly are commuters for us, and so we can reach beyond that for some of our commuter students who want to cut cost and not live on campus,
Right.
but still get a quality private education for college.
Yes, and I think some people probably have the misconception, if I go to St. Catherine's, I have to take all my courses there, but they can get some of their courses under their belt from, if it's, and then still come here to get their degree.
Absolutely, and transfer those in.
Yes,
certainly.
yes, and I think that's going to, if people think, well, who do I talk to about that? I think they need to come in and just investigate that.
Speak with our admissions office, absolutely, and there are a lot of scholarship opportunities too that we want to make sure that students know and their parents know that we have here at St. Catherine's, so we can help make it affordable for sure.
Well, and I also think, along with that, I think a lot of people think, well, it's going to take me so long to get through college, and it's just one step at a time. And it may take 5 years, it may take longer, but if financially, if they have to stretch it out, you just stretch it out. But in the long run, I know when you're 20 years old, you feel like 30 is so old. But if you can work hard for, stay with it for 10 years, and in 30 years, you'll have a degree.
That's right.
At 30. And I think, just this long-range planning and just being patient. We live in an age where there's a lot of instant gratification, and college is not is not always instant gratification. But the rewards are absolutely out there, absolutely.
And worth it.
Yes, absolutely. And that's just showing across the board with everything. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And I feel like we're going to see you again before next May when we wrap this up. We'll
Well,
talk
I
again
hope
about
so.
what's going on.
Well, I hope so.
Thank
Great.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.